Hi, it's Martin and welcome to another video on my Knit365 YouTube channel. Today's video is a crochet themed video and it is me chatting about my entry for the first quarter of 2022's Ed's Imaginist competition. So this is a quarterly design competition that is run by Kerry Lord and Team Toft, and you basically use the Ed's Crochet or Edward's Crochet Imaginarium book, which has loads of schematics and options in. I'll spin you around in a minute and I'll show you a little bit about the book. It's a flip book and it's brilliant. And each quarter, Kerry sets a colour palette. So this quarter's colour palette is, bear with, I dropped the blue. This quarter's colour palette are these four colours. So we have 50 grams, 2 balls of teal. We have 25 grams of shale, this lovely grey colour. We've got 25 grams of sapphire, this glorious navy, and 25 grams of cream. And the idea is that you create your own monster, mythical creature creation using the colours as set and using a recipe from the book, which we'll come on to in a minute. And then you submit it, and each quarter, Kerry judges all of the creations. And there are patches for winners and runners-up. So if you win, you get a gold patch and a silver patch for the runner-up. And the exciting thing is, if you're one of the winners, your kit, your creation becomes a kit that then gets sold on the Toft website, which is brilliant. It's such a cool concept. And I've been aware of it taking place in previous years. And I thought now is the time to want to take part in this, because my confidence in my knitting and crochet and all my crafting has kind of grown over the last few years, and especially my crochet. Like I taught myself to knit. I couldn't teach myself to crochet. I had to go and have lessons. And using lots of the Toft designs, I think I would class myself as a proficient crocheter now in terms of the dolls and the creations, because I've learned most of the skills. But I don't think I'm very creative, in as much as I can't take an item or an image and customize it. So I see loads of people that have made creations from the Toft menagerie and they've tweaked the design here and there. And that's not something that I ever do. I'm the same with my knitting. I follow the pattern. When I cook, if it's a new recipe, I will follow the recipe. I don't really deviate. Well, last year, there was the Toft summer competition and we all got to design bees. Kerry gave us the basic pattern and said, customize it, have a play, try and think of native bees to your area and customize them, and then take a snap and enter it into the summer competition. I really enjoyed that, and almost it unlocked a little spark in me, because over the next couple of weeks then after that competition was launched, I got to thinking about, well, what type of bee should I make? How do I photograph it? Where would be a good place to do that photo, looking around where we live, etc. And then I remember the Imaginists, and I seen at the end of last year, Kerry posted all of the winners for the December box. And I was like, no, I think that's the key for me having a go at trying to be a bit more creative. And that's why we're here. So this is my first entry into the Imaginists competition. This could become a quarterly mini series where I'll talk to you about what the colours are for that quarter, my thought process for how I think my design would work. So please let me know what you think of this as a different type of video. It's obviously a project vlog rather than one of my sort of monthly updates or with out and about yarn shopping. So a project vlog, you're going to follow me from 5 balls of wool to a finished monster of some kind. I've got a few ideas in mind. When I saw this colour palette, immediately with the blues and the greys, And the colour palette came out in January, and obviously January it's really cold. It is March now. I've got until the end of March to do my design. So I'm a little bit behind. I kind of wanted to get it done. I was the same in school. Leave your homework until the last week that it's due. It is the beginning of March, so I've got most of this month. But when I saw these colours, especially when they came out in January, I was immediately drawn to ice and something quite mythical and sort of frozen, icy themed. And I think I'm going to try and make an ice monster. And in my head, I've got a monster that is spiky, with sort of spiky shoulders, maybe spikes on his back or his head. But then also maybe some sort of flowing locks reminiscent of water. I've kind of got this idea, and because I'm now doing it in March and the pattern the colours came out in January, I've probably had more time to mull it over. So I've probably got a more formed idea in my head. The challenge I've now got, which I've never done before, is now taking it out of my head and trying to make it, which is where the book comes in. So this video, you're going to follow my progress. I'll show you the book now. I'll flip it around and just show you a little bit of some of the pictures. Obviously, no spoilers. If you want the book, head to the Toft website and go and buy it. And if you buy the book online, you also get some free downloadable PDFs, I think, for some accessories, how you can further customize your monster. But I'll show you a little bit of the book. I have my crafty book. And Mark's not here. I've stolen some of his colouring pencils because he's got a sort of a mind journal and he uses lots of colour pens. So I've stolen some of his coloured pencils in the colours and I'm going to have a little play and have a little sketch of a couple of ideas and then I'm going to look through the book and try and create it. So this blog will take the form over a couple of weeks, I think, as I have a play around with some designs and then I start to craft up what it's going to look like. You know, I'm assuming I'm going to end up with sort of a tealy head and body because that's what I've got the most wool of. My creation will have 2 arms, 2 legs and a body and a head. So we might do something like that, arms, legs and body, maybe a cream head, and then lots of blues and greys as spikes with a couple of tealy spikes. We'll see. Obviously, I've got 50 grams of these two, so that needs to be the majority of the colour, which is what I think I'll probably do on the body. But until I get into the book, we won't know. So I'm going to spin you around and show you the book, and then I'll probably cut to some footage of me doodling. And I'm not very good at art either, so this is going to be fun. But I hope that you're going to enjoy this type of video and follow me through my thought process. So let's flip around and have a look at the book. Okay, so slightly different angle on the camera so that you can see the book. So this is the Edwards Crochet Imaginarium, and all of these designs are made using patterns within the book, and it kind of talks you through how to customize them. I'm not going to give anything away, so I'm going to slide the book this way in a moment, but basically within the book you have these flips, and each of the flips give you a different combination. So you can see we have head, arms and feet. So if, for example, we randomly just go and flick to there, H15, arms 13 and feet 23, that would be a creation. And on the back of this, for H15, for example, will be the H15 pattern is on this side of the page. So that's why I'm hiding that. If I flick it over, that's H16. But you get the meaning. So it's basically a flip book. So, you know, if you're doing something watery or amphibian, you know, this would be a great one to have with sort of flippers. This is actually similar to what I was thinking because it's sort of spiky and ice-like. But yeah, I'm going to have great fun. See, now, this is kind of the hair I'm thinking for my ice creation, but something like this, but rather than this hair all being on his head, really long locks that come all the way down his body. So we'd have some kind of spikes coming off the shoulders, I think, and then maybe some spikes off the back. Spiky feet. I need to find those spikes that I just I just found that I quite liked. Oh, that's quite nice though. But some kind of spiky foot. But then here, some spikes on his head, but not so much hair. Something like that, I'm thinking. But it's a really, really neat book. And it kind of talks you through how to make the pattern. And it gives you some preset ideas if you want to get some inspiration yourself. So yeah, I'm going to grab my colouring pens and I'm going to dive right in. Okay, so I've actually quite enjoyed this. So here we have what I was describing. Little spiky head, spiky shoulders, and then sort of these two-pronged arms. And they're kind of, so I think that's the broad shape I'm going for. I did a side profile that's then got these long wavy bits. I don't obviously have a white colour, so I've tried to do a lighter colour and a dark colour, which would basically be the grey and the cream. So kind of got a bit of a side profile and then maybe some spikes coming down his back. I contemplated maybe trying something with a stripe. I'm not sure about that though. But I think what I have settled on is this sort of two-footed or two-clawed foot. But I'll do teal for the long bit, moving into grey on the toe, and then white toenails or cream toenails. And then I think that's a great way of incorporating the extra colours, because we'll go for a teal head, body and arms, but then grey and cream on the claws, which feels quite icy. And then we'll use the navy as the accent colour, the sapphire, sorry. The sapphire will be the spikes, and also then a mixture then of the navy, the grey and the cream as spirals. So that's kind of where I think I'm going. And I said I've kind of had this idea ruminating in the head for a couple of months now. So that's kind of what I think. And if I flick to the book, which this is the first time I've used this book, and this is where I think it's super clever how I can do this. So I've got my basic schematic, and what I've then found is it's going to be head 10, arms 12, and feet 11. So here you can see where I'll have teal leg with grey here, and then I'll do white cream claws. The same on his arms. So I've kind of got the same arms and body, arms and leg. Head-wise, he's got 5 spikes on this design, but the pattern actually just tells you how to do the spikes. So I think I can customize that. So rather than having 5, because I might have a few more, because I've kind of got 2 here and 2 on the shoulders. I'm not sure if I can do them on the shoulders. I'll need to see. It might need to be on the top of the arm, maybe a smaller spike. But I don't mind this actually, because there's more spikes here on the 5, but I'll do some here on the reverse of the head as well. So he's got quite a spiky head. And then in between the spikes, we'll then have some slip stitch chains that are kind of the flowing locks. So that is my plan. Yeah, I'm excited to get started. It'll be interesting to see how it starts to look in real life, because I've now got an image in my head. I've got an image in the book. So I need to try and see how it comes to life now. Yeah, so let's get hooking. Usually, when I do my creations, I do body, then head, and then all the bits. So I'm just going to do that now. So I'll do the body and the head. You don't need to see me crochet them. I'll come back and show you what they look like. But at least they're going to be in teal. And then, yeah. I said this video will be over a couple of weeks, I think. unless I get super obsessed with it and I do it in like a day. But I will be back in a moment to show you a bit of progress. So checking in, I've been 1 hour, and I know I've been 1 hour because months ago, I started watching Great British Sewing Bee from the beginning, and I've just watched the final of one of the series, and it was an hour. So I know I've made the head in an hour. Just now I said it's head, body, arms, legs. It's actually a head and body all together. I hadn't read ahead in the pattern at that point. So I've made the head. So we've started from the top. I'm coming down to the head. Then I'm going to decrease quickly now. Then we're going to do the neck, and then we'll increase again for the body. So I'm happy with that, and I've stuffed it. But I just thought I would quickly, again, bit of insight into me really and how I do this. I have official toy stuffing that I use for most of my creations, but if it's a creation that I know is just for us in the flat and isn't going to be gifted to a friend, I have a bag of wool scraps. That isn't enough to make a scrappy blanket. So for example, they're just offcuts that I've cut off. But in the spirit of reuse and not dumping, I use these. So I use this in place of stuffing. So obviously they're not officially certified or fire resistant. You know, if I was making this as a gift for someone, I would use official toy stuffing that's fire retardant. But for my personal use at home, I have a big bag. I've got another bag of this as well. And I get through them very slowly. So yeah, so I just thought I would show you. So I've stuffed that with a load of ends. It's really nice and squishy. And then if I find there's a little gap there, I wouldn't use something big like that. I would just use a little offcut, something small, and then I would shove that in the hole. So there we go. Hope that helps. Little tip. Right, so I'm now going to decrease this and bring that in, and then I'm going to create the neck. So I'm hoping, it's Monday night, I'm hoping I'll get the body done today, and then if I can get the head and the body done, that'll be brilliant progress, and then we can have a go at the legs then over the next couple of weeks. Maybe I could do the legs this week, and then I can spend 2 weeks then doing the decoration, the horns and all the rest of it. That's probably a better plan. Anyway, if I carry on chatting to you, I'm not going to be crocheting, am I? So I'm off to go and do the body. So my little friend is done. It is now 8:30. I've had some tea and I've finished the head and the body. He's got a little neck, put a bit of extra stuffing in there for a bit more stability. Slightly annoyingly, this was one ball and like about this much. I had to start the second ball of this colour, which is fine. So I've stuffed as I was going with my leftover wool. So productive day. I've chosen my pattern, I've done some designing. Check me out. We've got the characteristic Toft fat belly, which when his legs are on, will mean that he'll sit up. So yeah, I'm quite pleased. So side profile, so we'll obviously have some spikes, maybe a few spikes down the back. I don't know, I'll obviously do the legs and arms, put those on, and then we'll decide how much decoration. So that's probably it now for a little while. I've got some other things that I want to do. So I'll be back. You'll watch it next. I don't know how long it will be before I'm back. I am quite excited by this. I might carry on, but I do have other things to finish. But there we go. So that was a successful Monday and I've started. So you're going to see, hopefully, some finished limbs. And I'm going to go and sit down and watch some telly. So I hope you enjoy the next bit. Good morning, good morning. It is Wednesday morning, so a little bit of time has passed since the weekend, but we have 2 feet. So I'm really happy. It looks like my plan in my head. I'm loving the way this is going. So we have the teal leg, which will obviously join and match onto the body and the colour. Then I've introduced the grey for the start of the foot, and then icy, snowy white, creamy toes. The leg pattern's got a lovely fold in it, which I won't give the pattern away, but it kind of, it does something different rather than just continuing in a straight round. A straight round? Round and round. So I'm hoping when the foot is on, it will kind of pivot, which is brilliant. So we've kind of got the leg and then this icy, snowy foot, which I'm really pleased with. So I managed to get both of these finished. I did most of them. I did one last night and a leg, and then I did the foot this morning in bed before I started work, which is great. Who knows, if you get up earlier in the morning, you can do knitting before work. I know this is crochet, but you know what I mean. So I need to sew my ends in, which I'll do all of that at the end. But I'm really happy with how they've turned out. They are exactly how I'd pictured them. The arms now are going to be a very, very similar construction. This bit here is slightly shorter. And what I'm going to do, just to have a bit of variation between the arms and the legs, whereas I've done this small grey section and then I've colour changed into the cream, I'm actually going to continue the grey down to here. And then you can see there is an increase and then a steep decrease. So what I'm going to do is on the arms, I'm just going to give him snowy, icy fingertips. So I'm going to continue the grey down to the decrease, and then I'm just going to do white tips, just so we've got a bit of variation between the arms and the legs. So I'll work on those now over the next couple of days. But yeah, Wednesday morning, just thought I'd do a quick check-in and share Sneeze icy legs with you. But now I have to go and do some work. So no more crochet or knitting or crafting until I finish work this evening. But maybe I'll make a start on the arms. I should be doing baby blanket, but there we go. Right, I'm off to work. Bye. You know me, no fuss and nonsense. It is 9:30 and Mark is still away with work. So I am spending the evening doing a bit of crochet. But I have finished Sneeze, arms and legs, and I've sewn in my ends. I'll spin you around and I'll show you. So here we go. Here is Snee. Oh, actually, I can show you my bed throw if you're interested. This was a Stylecraft crochet pattern, and you made all these individual hexagons and then sewed them together. So I did mine in an Aran weight yarn, which it's not double bed size, but it's not far off. And I just left the pattern exactly as it was, but did Aran weight instead of double knit, if you're interested. But back to the Snow King. I've now finished the body, and I've sewn in the end. I've done the two arms. So I said we'd have grey hands and cream nails, and then the legs where we've got a bit of a half and half. So I've done my ends on those. I'm now going to stuff it. I did say earlier in the video when I did his body, I stuffed him with offcuts of wool, but I need to get the stuffing down the leg, down the ankle and into the toe. And I don't think I'm going to be able to manipulate that, whereas that I can shove down with a crochet hook. So I'm just going to pop a bit of stuffing in the end and then sew the tops flat and then sew them into place. And if I can get that all done tonight, then that will be a very successful day. I am sitting in the window because I finished work and the light is starting to go, and I wanted to start with the sapphire, the navy. But it's really dark wool and I tried to do some last night and my little old peepers can't look at the dark wool without good light. So I made great progress last night. I did the sewing up And then I really got into a drama about the Washington sniper. 6-parter. I watched 4 parts yesterday. Gripping and terrifying. They haven't caught him yet. I've got episode 5 and 6 to watch. But I made great progress. This isn't a TV review channel. And Snee has been sewn together, which is super exciting. And I've started some spikes. So this will be his face, and we'll have 2 eyes here. And obviously there's his little fat belly to help him sit down. But there are the spikes. So these are obviously icicles, because he's a snow monster. He lives in the cold. So he's going to have his eyes there, and then he's kind of got these spikes that are sticking up, which are the icy spikes. And I've just done another one on his bum. So kind of on the side of the back. So I'm going to do a couple more. So we'll probably have another 3 or 4 on the back. And then I think that's probably it for the icicles. And then the rest of it is going to be flowing locks, which is kind of going to resemble kind of like running water, snow. That's kind of the visual effect that I'm going for. So there's a bit of a sneak peek of Snee. He doesn't look very snow-like at the moment, but I'm hoping when I finish the icicles and then get all the flowing locks, you'll kind of have all this hair sticking down and then these spikes just poking through. That's my plan. That is what Snee is going to look like. So there probably won't be any more footage now until I finish. So I will record a final segment when he's fully decorated and he's got his eyes on. And then I will come back to show you, which you're going to watch in a moment. I've kind of done this now in a few days. I said I wasn't going to do this. And I was just going to do the body, and then I was going to start or finish other projects. But I kind of got a bit excited with this. And as I was on a bit of a roll, so I'm going to finish all of the icicles, hopefully tonight. Now it's Thursday, the 10th, 11th, something like that, whatever the day is, I don't know. So I'm going to finish all the icicles, the spiky bits, and then I'll probably put him down for a couple of days. And then maybe one morning on the weekend, I'll do all the chains for the hair. So there we go. So stay tuned for the finished article. And that was the forest, and this is now me at Center Parcs. So I don't know, I'm going to edit this all together later, so I'm not sure what you've just watched. But you probably saw me saying, oh, it'll be a while now before I get to finish this. It's Wednesday the 30th of March, and the deadline is tomorrow. So talk about going to the wire. But I've had a really busy March. I finished the baby blankets. Happy dance. You'll see those in the March wrap video, which will come next week, hopefully. If you're watching this in order. I've just finished my monster, and as I said, literally up to the wire. We're away in Center Parcs, 8 adults, Mark and I, my mum and dad, 2 brothers, wives, niece 1, 2 and 3, nephew 1, so a 7-year-old, a 4-year-old and 2 3-month-old babies. Very noisy. I've got an hour of peace and quiet. People have gone to do archery and swimming. I'm like, I just want an hour in the forest with the birds and my crochet, which is lovely. So I finished though. So I'm going to do this kind of final wrap up section, and I'm going to get the vlog edited together. I'm actually quite pleased that I didn't finish it until we're here, because you've just seen a little bit of footage of the trees in the forest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take photos of my creation here, you'll see in a moment, in the forest. Because I said at the beginning, so I've called him Snee. He's the Snow King. Never one without a prop and ready for Instagram. I bought the snow with me. We had this, I don't know where it came from. It's glittery, and we have it in like a vase with a candle on top. So I bought the snow. So I'm gonna lay that, I need to put some paper down, I think, on the grass, and then I'm gonna lay that out and then stand him on it so it looks like he's the Ice King standing in the snow. I won't do that until Mark is back later because he's gone to archery. So I'm not gonna put a final photo of, I won't put the final staged photo on. If you want to see the staged photo, head over to Twitter or Instagram to see my finished staged picture. But I'll show you the finished king, and I'm very happy. So if we just quickly flip back to my notebook. So this was my design with the spikes, and these were they were going to represent the icicles of the Snow King, and then the twirly bits, they were going to represent the water or the ice dripping off him. That was my thought. That was where I was going. And here he is. I'm super, super pleased with him. I'll take him off now and at the stand and I'll show you. So I've got a doll stand. So I'm going to put the snow over the base of the stand, and then it looks like he's standing in the snow. But if I take him off, so you can see we've got the spikes. So here's his head. He's got a standard sort of Toft monster eyes with these V stitches. And then, yeah, he's got spikes coming off his head that just kind of jut out and stick out from the ice and the water. And then he's also got spikes that continue down his back. So he's really icy. I said at the beginning I wasn't very creative. I've had so much fun doing this that I'm going to do next quarters as well and see what that brings. And then, yeah, he's got all these, he's dripping in snow and water. I haven't been drinking, it's only 1 o'clock. But I love it. I love how I've kind of taken this idea and brought it to life. So you've seen his hands with the claws that represent the icicles, and the same with his feet. And then, yeah, he just, I love his hair. I'm obsessed with it. Not as much as I'm obsessed with Llewellyn the Wizard's hair, if you've seen that, with his quiff. But I just love, and if you give him a good shake, they all land in a different place. So I quite like, it's very Medusa, like with all the snakes. Did she have lots of snakes? 7 snakes? I don't really know. But I just love how they land in all different directions, and you can pull them. And so there is Snee, the Ice King, and my submission into the Toft Imaginists design competition. So I'm on track because submission is by tomorrow. So all I've got to do, found a rogue end. All I've got to do is snap my picture and then upload it to Instagram by tomorrow. Oh, we can have an over the shoulder. Over the shoulder do? Yeah, so he's finished. So I'm going to take my photograph. And hey, you know, I think I said earlier on in the video, if I didn't, then you have the opportunity to win a gold cup, a patch. You know I love the patches. But also, if you win, your design gets turned into a kit and sold on the Toft website. Like, how awesome would that be? And like I said with the bees, for me, it's not about winning. It sounds so corny. It's the taking part that counts. Like, it would be lush to win, but there are loads and loads. There are hundreds of entries that get submitted into the design competitions. And who knows what Kerry's looking for, what will jump out and inspire her to pick the winner. But I've got a bit of a backstory with Snee. I've followed the process properly. I've got the head, the arms, the legs. So it is a monster. He's got a little backstory. So I'm going to take a nice photo now and then submit him into the competition. But like I said at the beginning of the video, I don't think I'm very creative. I'm very methodical and very process driven, and I can follow a pattern. I don't find it easy to go off-piste. So it was really good opportunity for me to take a step back and draw it out and think about it and work out, well, where will I put that? And then, well, where will that go? And if I do that here, there. So I've had to kind of think without a pattern, which has been quite freeing, but I'm glad I've done it. I've enjoyed it, but I'm definitely a pattern person. I'm not going to be getting into designing anytime soon. There are much cleverer people knitting and crochet than me that can design patterns. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that you've enjoyed following along in a project vlog style, and you've enjoyed meeting Snee. I hope that you enjoyed following that design process and you can see where my thought process was going, and I hope that you understand the icicles and the water and the icicles, the watery snow bits. And if you don't, then I've probably failed as a designer, which is probably why I won't do designing. But thank you very much for watching this video. Yeah, and indulging me in something slightly different. So I'm hoping to do next quarter. So Kerry does this once a quarter. So now early April, we'll get told the 4 colours for the Q2 palette, and then we can have a go. As I said, I looked at these colours and immediately my mind went to ice and snow, which is where Snee came from. But please let me know in the comments below what you think of this video. Would you have done something similar? Do those colours call something else out to you? Have you taken part in the Imaginists series? Let me know. Yeah, I'm super excited to see what reception Snee gets on Instagram. So I'm going to leave this video here. As I said, I'm sitting in the peace of the forest, and yeah, I'm going to enjoy some quiet time. I've got a little bit of crochet that I'm going to do now while this video uploads, and I'm just going to chill out, because that's what holidays are all about, aren't they? So from me and Snee, me and Snee, thank you very much for watching. Please let me know what you think of this video in the comments. As always, if you don't subscribe and you've liked what you've seen today, please click on that subscribe button. It helps me to grow my channel, and it's free for you to subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, but it means the world to me when I see how many of you wonderful people in this community there are subscribing to my videos. So yeah, I'll keep making videos as long as you guys keep watching them. So thank you very much for being here, and until we speak again, happy crafting.